social media skit. This is real life. People actually get W-2s off of this.
There's some people that used to sell crack. Like, I don't understand.
As you two women, how should, when you start a job, should you hold off when having a baby and getting pregnant on maternity leave?
Yeah,
government assistance.
They don't have to pay for nothing when you had a baby. Like, it's
just
like
maternal package. It's not, you know, people mooching off the government. People just automatically get it. Of course.
What?
You always
you and Lex was in these streets last night. Y'all was like, we gonna enjoy this.
I have not gone out since the summertime.
These
and
weathers.
what time is it now?
Speaking of Club Shay Shay, Jess Hilarious was on Club Shay Shay.
Yeah.
Recently, I don't know if our viewers are aware about her being in the media lately. Apparently, on The Breakfast Club, Jess Hilarious went on maternity leave when she gave birth to her second child, and she had Lauren, I forget her last name, Lauren LaRosa, filling in for her. But apparently, when she came back, it would appear that Lauren LaRosa was taking over Jess with the Mess, her segment that she pitched and fought for The Breakfast Club. So Jess Hilarious made this very vocal during taping, during filming, or during recording, and it sparked all of this controversy, even to the point where Envy and her got into a little tiff online. He made her cry and things like that. It was such a big deal. Everybody blew it up. And then a couple of days ago, they come out with a collab. Jess Hilarious and Lauren LaRosa did a collab doing a rendition of The Boy Is Mine titled The Job Is Mine.
The Job Is Mine.
Yes.
The Job Is Mine. Yo, so are they both going to be on there?
Yeah.
I think it was always their plan to have both of them on there. I think
it's a good mix.
Jess Hilarious was just a little confused about how they were going to incorporate her into the show, because they only had her reporting on her segment, which was Jess with the Mess, where she kind of took over Angela Yee's role, where they did hot topics and things like that that's going on in the media. But Lauren came in and was kind of like infringing on her segment that she pitched for the show specifically, and I guess Jess Hilarious was not feeling the way things were handled.
Do you think she was getting like more attention?
So the thing is, right?
Yeah.
Jess, even though she's funny, right? She's not a good orator, right? She's not really good at like professionally speaking and saying
journalism
words. Like and she's not.
They have a news segment too, yeah.
And Lauren LaRosa, she went to school for journalism. She used to work for TMZ before she got to The Breakfast Club. Like she's established. That's one of the reasons why Jess Hilarious picked her to stand in for her on maternity leave.
Sometimes you pick your own.
And the people were feeling Lauren.
Yeah.
Like she's hitting all the right words. She's hitting all the right spots. She's also good at
Lauren gave them that Angela Yee feel back, I feel like.
She's also
and professionalism.
She's good at the banter between Charlemagne and Envy. Like she's good at that too. But also Jess adds a more funny comedic dynamic too.
Yeah.
And I can get where Jess is coming from, because it's like, say like, I don't know, like say you have a pickup basketball game, but you leave because you gotta take care of something at home and they're supposed to be holding your spot. You come back and LeBron is in your spot. It's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I thought this was my spot.
Right, and then they telling you, oh yeah, you could play with us. You could just rotate. You could be the man off the bench. When you supposed to be starting 5, and they talk about you could rotate off the bench. Like, nah, like hold up. I'm gonna feel the type of way.
We need both your qualities, my nigga. That's LeBron. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if it was a competition of talents. I think Jess genuinely was just confused, because even with Envy tried to say that it was always supposed to be a situation where there was going to be 4 hosts. And my thing is, if you've been watching Breakfast Club since they started, like I have, or listening to them like I have, there's never been 4 hosts.
There's never been a 4th host.
There's never been a fourth host. Even when y'all were looking for a replacement for Angela Yee, there was never a pitch for a 4th. We were looking for 2 people. I think what happened is that Lauren filled in for Jess, and they liked her because she technically was a production manager or something like that, and she was behind the scenes. But when they brought her in front of the scenes, they realized that the vibe, she's talented. You know, the vibe, she meshed with the show. She works well with Envy and Charlamagne. Like, okay. And then she gives that, like Solo said, that professionalism. She, you know, she can talk and give facts, like, you know, in a different way. And it's not all comedic. So Jess probably felt like, okay, well, where do I fit in at now? Because I thought that this was my job.
Yeah, and I see like the person that I put in to replace us, she's still here. She's not leaving.
Right.
So it's like, yo, what's going on here? Like,
and nobody said, oh, we liked her so much. Like, y'all could have just said we liked her so much that we want to try to incorporate her into the show. You know, like, even if y'all, I feel like Jess felt like nobody said that to her. Like, okay, we want to incorporate her into the show because we liked her so much. She just felt like they just put her in there and was just like, we ain't gonna say nothing if you don't say nothing. Like, you know what I mean? She's like, oh, what's going on? Like, I'm supposed to be doing this. This is the job that I was doing before I left. And now you got this person here and I'm not supposed to be upset because this is not what's in my contract.
It's just, I think people are more or less responding to how she did it because at the end of the day,
off camera,
this is a job,
right?
Like, facts. And you have to treat it as such. This is not a social media skit. This is real life. People actually get W-2s off of this.
Facts.
If you have a grievance with a coworker, it's up to you to, number one, try to resolve it with that coworker before HR gets involved. But when you post videos online, now everybody's involved. Yeah. And it becomes an unprofessional mess. All she had to do was have a meeting.
That's what
even
Envy
if
said.
she wanted HR or whoever in the background.
Put it up in a meeting, yeah.
But she went off of emotion and forgot that this was a job. Like, they don't owe you any loyalty, just like with any other job. They could fire you tomorrow and no one will care. Because it's a job.
Facts.
That's true.
But you also got to take into account, like, she's from the Baltimore. She's from the hood. She's never really worked in this professional setting before.
That's not an excuse.
I don't want to. Don't put that on her. Don't put that on her because she's been doing a lot of professional things long before she got on the Breakfast Club. So I don't think that she's incapable of being professional. Like, I think that, like Envy said, she let the people in the comments and stuff like that, she let them get the best of her. She let them, I don't know if she let them puff her up, but she probably, like she said, was already feeling that way, but she definitely let them influence her. Yeah, they validated her. So, and then she let them puff her up, and now you got emotional on camera, or, you know what I mean? When, like Envy said, it could have been brought up in a meeting. He said that he spoke to her as soon as she got back. Like, if you're not comfortable with this, and just admitted that he said that to her. Like, if you uncomfortable with this, if you want anything that needs to change, blah blah blah, just let me know. Let's talk about it. We could work it out. Blah blah blah. And she didn't say anything. But you wait until you got on camera, and that was unprofessional.
Yeah.
So now they got to keep even though they kept her on the show, they got to keep an eyebrow up. Yeah. On her.
But to your point, I mean, just because like she's from a certain area doesn't negate you from that type of like scrutiny. Like,
it doesn't.
Like, regardless if you work at McDonald's or in a corporate office, the rules are the same. If you have a problem,
but here's the thing, like,
you will address it accordingly.
Here's the thing, she went from content, TikTok,
Creative,
Instagram, Reels, all that. She went from that straight to corporate job at the Breakfast Club.
But no, she did.
That woman had a job before she even got on TikTok. She had many jobs
before that. She was doing a lot of things. She was on Wild 'N Out for a minute. That's when she really started getting her recognition. Like,
and that environment ain't really the most,
it's not professional. Like,
it's like, you cracking jokes the whole time. So you really just got to be funny. So she's taken out of that environment where she's like, where everything is a little bit more scripted and a little bit more polished, and the Breakfast Club has been a running engine for like 15 years.
I don't want to make it seem like comedians don't have professionalism, like, because they have, even though that they're cracking jokes and stuff like that, there is a side of professionalism that comes along with their career.
True.
So, like, I honestly don't think that it's a case of of her because she's from Baltimore, because she's from the hood, or because she's a comedian and the way that she got her stardom, that she's not professional. I honestly think that she had an emotional moment.
Yeah.
Of
She
a
let
lapse
you know,
in judgment.
and she got a lot going on for herself too. So it was just, maybe she got a little big headed. Maybe she, she honestly just felt offended or felt like somebody was stepping on her toes and it wasn't communicated in a proper way. And unfortunately, she let it come out, in not a professional way, like on camera or while they were recording.
But I'm of course I'm not trying to make an excuse for her, but it's like,
Because when else she did some crazy unprofessional job other than this instance? When have we heard her doing something crazy, wild, unprofessional? Like
I
what?
mean, like she'll admit to you before she got on and like famous, she used to steal a lot. There's
some people that used to sell crack. Like I don't understand. Like, people used to sell crack. Like was doing gang. Like was
Some
shooting
people
people and
used to
stuff.
It's like
do crack.
My point is like
Facts. That's a fact.
It takes time to develop that polishness. Like Lauren LaRocha, she's been doing this for some years. DJ Envy and Charlamagne, they've been doing this for 15 years. Like maybe, like I'm not making it, but maybe she got to work her way up to be that polished. This is something that this decision she made. It wasn't the most professional, but she got to take her bumps. And a part of that bump is, if Power 105 want to fire you,
to fire her, because at some point I thought that's what was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Like she was gonna get fired. Like I thought it was done, or I thought that because she had came up and said her piece that she was okay, and I truly believe she would be okay if she got fired. Not to say that it wouldn't hurt her, but she's at her peak right now. Like you know what I mean? If she got fired right now at this point in her career, she would be fine.
Yeah,
she would be fine.
So this also brings to a point where how soon when you start a job should you decide as you two women? When you start a job should you hold off on having a baby and getting pregnant and going on maternity leave? Because she pretty much just started last year, and we've seen less of her on the show than we have seen her on the show than off the show.
Yeah,
and that kind of sort of hurt her visibility with
on
fans.
the show. Yeah.
So now, you got Lauren LaRosa taking your spot. The audience is getting more acclimated with her. They're starting to like her more, and let's not to mention the people picked Jess Hilarious.
Yeah.
So when the people pick you,
and you don't show up,
you decide to go and have a baby and go on maternity leave. It's like, you kind of sort of did this to yourself.
To a certain extent, because people were happy, like her fans and stuff were happy that, they sent a lot of well wishes and things like that. Like I don't think it diminished her fan base. I do understand what you're saying about like you starting a job and then like immediately you going on maternity leave. That is I guess that's a downfall for the company.
Yeah, just like Lex said, at the end of the day, this is a job. Like this company got to run with or without you, and every company in Power 105.
Go ahead,
but
Lex.
also in the same breath, like I just need to know the optics of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, did she go into the job and letting them know, like, hey, by the way, I'm already pregnant. So like, it's up to them, up to their discretion to where they're
part too,
or not they want to hire her. Like you disclose that. Because you have to disclose that anyway if you want to have maternity leave. So it's up to the job itself. Like they could just not hire you and be like,
discrimination.
Okay, well, hit us up after you have the baby.
Yeah.
They can't really do nothing about that.
I think she got pregnant.
Because she could still. This is my thing.
I think she got pregnant after she.
She has a job where she can still work up until while she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Like she has a job. It's not like she has a job where she has to physically be up in X, Y, and Z. She might have had some long hours or something like that, but she's sitting down for most of the time. I
ain't never been pregnant, so you tell me. What
is it?
Club, they got to be there at 5 a.m.
Okay. That baby might have her up at 5.
That's also true. I'm like, sis probably already up at 3:30.
Exactly. So pregnant people, pregnant people are not disabled. Like they can work. Granted, there are times where they might be sick or something like that. But for the most part, there are thousands, millions of pregnant people who work all the time up until it's time for them to have the baby. I'm not saying that's everybody, but most pregnant people work. Like, so especially for a job like her, where she is not physically like on her feet the whole time or X, Y, and Z, but like she would have been able to work, and if I'm not mistaken, she did work up until it was time for her to, like, she was too big and she couldn't, you know what I mean? She pretty much worked until she was ready to pop.
Yeah.
So, 3 months of you being on maternity leave ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Nah, I think she was away from the show more than 3 months.
Maybe.
Yeah. But I know you're saying maternity leave is like, what, 3 months, right?
Yeah, about
In America.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Because in other countries, they get like a year.
A year.
They be like a year. I wish. What
And
the
they
heck?
get care packages. Wait, hold on.
They get
Government
listen,
assistance.
They don't have to pay for nothing when you
And
had a
that's-
baby. Like,
that's
it's
just
like
maternal package. It's not,
Yo.
people mooching off the government. People just automatically
Yo.
get it.
Out here, they be like, you popped the baby out yesterday. You got until 12 p.m. 2 days later to get out. As soon as you pop them out, they be like, it's time to start walking. Start practicing walking down the hall. I be like, yo, they terrible.
God forbid you have a C-section. It was like, well,
No, they don't
put
care.
some ointment on this
Yeah,
scar.
like, take this diaper and and get out.
Take some of these frozen pads.
Change yourself and the
figure it out.
baby, and you'll be fine.
You're gonna have some spicy pee for a while, but
Oh my
you'll be
God.
alright. You'll be alright.
Oh my God, yeah.
Spicy pea is crazy.
You don't have a baby, Mark. Don't have a baby, Mark.
That shit be making me scared. I'm like, nah, y'all don't make it a
God.
piece.
But the angel that you had was so amazing.
I be telling people that all the time. I'm like,
Yo.
y'all ask me all the time, when are you guys having a baby? I'm just like, well, when God says so. Number two, when the economy says, all right, we're gonna let y'all chill. For
That
a
ain't
little
never
bit.
gonna happen.
Number three, the horror stories that don't make it
Listen,
any better.
no, you gotta
What
hear.
mean
You gotta hear
ripping?
the worst.
Rip?
Nah, you gotta hear the worst
Oh,
because my mentor, the one of the best things she could have ever did to me was be real with me about childbirth, like explaining all the craziness, the ripping, all of that, and sorry.
No, you good.
You was in the room. You should be alright.
Good,
Summer.
good.
But
You
that
was
was
in
the
the
best
room.
thing, because if you got somebody that like is mentally prepared, because it's really not like bringing a human into the world is a challenge. Like, it's a challenge not just to get the baby through the birth canal, but also for you on your physical body. Like, your DNA changes for the rest of your life when you
Your
have a baby.
organs were rearranged.
Your organs, especially if you had a
to
cesarean.
accommodate this person.
That's why.
It's a human life.
That's why no matter how conservative I may lean on certain things, I'm always gonna be pro-choice, because chicks dead ass die when they.
Yeah, like, can you
That is
imagine
not,
back in the
like-
day without all this medicine and,
Yeah,
and
like-
machines and stuff like that? Babies
Like-
die.
Motherfuckers died, and then still blame the mama
Right.
in the ground.
Yeah,
Why y'all?
like-
Come on, man.
I ain't gotta have the baby, y'all. That's on y'all. So I'm always be pro-choice. So
Look at you being somewhat progressive, I guess,
Somewhat progressive is crazy.
and that's a stretch.
that's a stretch.
Oh gosh, moving on.
Moving on.
Now, yo, right? All right. Last night, went to this event.
Of course,
What?
you always go
You
back.
and Lex was in these streets last night. Y'all was
Nah,
like, we gonna
nah,
enjoy
nah.
this.
I have
We
not
gonna
gone out
enjoy
since the
these-
summertime.
these
And
weathers.
what time is it now?
I don't be outside like that. It just be on some last minute.
Same solo, same.
You coming outside. Okay. I guess I'm out there. But anyway,
You coming to this game though?
I'm coming to what game?
The Liberty game, right?
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Good job.
I'll be there.
I'm adding it onto our other bill that we gotta pay.
No, but anyway, right? So we go to this event. I think it's pretty unorganized. Everybody's waiting in line.
Oh Lord.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm looking like, so you got celebrities waiting in line too.
What? Oh no.
And I'm like, nigga. And they let a couple of them on the side door. I'm like, okay. So a couple of them was making noise like, yo, I'm performing.
Say the name of the event and you scared.
I don't know, some fucking female event. I don't know. They was
Why
female
you have to
rappers.
say
A lot
it
of them
like
was
that?
a lot of them was like on that love and
Right,
hip hop.
damn,
I don't
it's
know.
still Women's Month, damn it.
No, I'm saying they had some.
Like-
Actually, shout out to Halsey
Say
too.
all aggressive.
Right?
Halsey had a couple of events going on for the women
Shout out
last
to
night as
Halsey.
well. It was popping last night. But this event was in Roselle. I'm not gonna say the name of the
Okay.
spot. Anyway, it was real unorganized, and I was like, "Yo, I'm not waiting in line like this. I'm done. I'm not on no bougie shit, but my nigga, like I waited in line. It's unorganized.
How
can
long
go
you was
in
waiting?
and enjoy.
How long you was waiting?
We was chilling out there for like an hour.
Oh, nah.
Now I was there on the strength of like supporting,
Yeah.
and I seen like people I know like around the door. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm not the type to go out my way and be like, "Yo, let us in." I'm not doing that. So then shorty I was with was like, "Yo, you should have just called." Nigga, I don't call no fucking body. If I don't get in, I just don't get in.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not, yo, let us. I'm not doing that. I'm not dick riding. I don't need to be in no event. I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Not that bad.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Because she was supposed to host. So I'm like, you should be making the damn call.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How you hosting?
How you hosting and you outside?
But she's not the only one. Another girl I know from the Bronx. She
I
was
went
hosting-
right
well,
up to the
actually,
front door like, I'm hosting tonight.
That's what I told her to do. And she
Yeah.
actually knew the dude that was throwing the event. I'm
What?
like, why didn't you say that? But anyway.
Slow.
And another girl I know, she went and she was hosting as well. And it was like, nah, you gotta wait. She dead ass was like, nah, I'm out. Fuck that. I ain't waiting for shit. I was like, you should be on the same wave.
Yeah.
Right. Cause what?
Now these are girls that are well known, like they music playing on Hot 97 and everything. They waiting in line.
Oh, no.
So my question is, now, Young Thug said he wants his fans to beg for his music.
What?
He wants his fans to beg for his music.
I already told you about my story, so I ain't about you.
Now you
already
got
know my opinion.
DDG that says streamers are more famous than rappers now. Do you agree?
Yeah.
It depends on the fan base. Depends on the audience.
The rapper got a stream and they will be, oh my gosh. Oh, I'm sorry.
And they're saying when the rappers come out, when you drop an album, you have to go to the streamers. Like you're not the radio. They're saying like radio is radio, but the streamers is where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the fan base.
Yeah, you feel like the younger fans.
Depending on the fan base. I mean, if we talking about rap, yeah, rap is a young man's game. So the younger people, they on the streamer, they watch the streamer. So if you a rapper and you're trying to make it out here, you got to go to the streamers. So I guess yeah.
I low key agree. I feel like rappers don't have the same stain they used to have.
Yeah, they don't. That's why I say you got to stream if you're gonna be. You got to be doing something other than rapping, like to promote your music. Because the way they used to do it back in, they selling CDs outside there. What's the name?
Yeah.
Stuff that word of mouth and everything. Right now, word of mouth ain't really like it helps for like local. What's the name? But if you're trying to really get out there and make money off of your career, you gotta get streams. You gotta pay that bill to have your stuff on Apple,
Playlists.
on Spotify, on things like that. To have your music, you gotta pay that. You gotta pay that bill. You gotta pay. You gotta do shows. Like you gotta pay to have shows or where you showcase your what's the name. Or even if it's like, all right, it's a party. I'm throwing a party or I'm throwing an event. It's I don't know, like a small event and you charging what, $20 at the door or something, just to make some type of money off, have a vendor table there, have food there that you call, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
And a lot of these streamers have
you gotta hustle.
A lot of these streamers be having more views than a lot of the radio stations, the TV channels.
It's a fact.
And that, like they got the
But
audience.
see, like streams, you don't get no money for.
No,
Like-
not like streaming like Spotify. We're talking about like YouTube.
YouTube stream, okay,
Twitch
yes,
and
yeah,
YouTube
like
streams.
podcasts
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
like-
that. Yeah, those.
Like
That's how
those-
T-Pain did his resurgence.
Yeah.
Streaming on
Like
Twitch.
a lot of these streamers, they be having more and more views and more people tuning in and like
Yeah, they get some money. They definitely
TV
get some money.
You
shows
got-
and like radio stations, all that.
Look, you know that.
Yeah.
Like before, like when it was just like TV, like and less social media. I feel like you were less what's the word, man? Because you can see somebody every day online. I think you're too in sight. You know what I'm saying? There was a little bit of mystery before.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I wonder how this dude is. Like, I wonder how she, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, but now I feel like you see this dude every day, and now you're like, this is an ordinary nigga. And it's celebrities I see, and I'll be looking online, and I'm like, this nigga really has nothing going on. they're just posting random dumb stuff just to say like I posted. But I'm looking like you really don't have nothing going on, to be honest.
It's the personality.
But you have to stay within the eye.
You have to stay relevant.
Yeah,
that's why I feel like Stephen A. like he trolling. Like you want to nowadays. It's the time where you got to stay relevant. Like if you're not a main topic in the media or whatever, like then you are not.
Marketable.
You're not marketable. So you always have to be doing something. That's why like a lot of content creators online and stuff like that, they talk about how they struggle with, always coming up with content, always having a new idea or doing something different from what they originally do. A lot of them start off doing one type of content and they switch to another type of content because that trend is over. You know what I mean? So they gotta go a different way, and it's based off of how many videos you put out, how many times a week, how many views you getting on those videos, like all of that.
No, that's a fact.
All of that matters. So.
And like with rappers and the labels, like. They're not developing artists anymore.
Yeah, they're not.
Labels. If you go to a label, you gotta already be established. You gotta already be putting out stuff. You gotta already be like, yo, all right, well.
They're not trying to develop nobody anymore.
They ain't trying to develop nobody. Okay, well, what are you putting out? What are people gravitating to? How many streams do you have? How many numbers do you have? What playlists have you got on? Once the label sees that, then they'll be like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna invest in you to see if we can recoup our money back from this investment. Like labels ain't touching you if you're not out here active.
Facts.
Very.
And then you got to be adaptable too, because as soon as the wave that put you on dies, you got to be able to adapt.
Yeah.
That's why everybody's on a country wave now, like because country is getting popping.
Yeah.
No, it is. It is. But I told her with the girl I went with, I told her I was like, yo, I hope this is an eye-opening experience, because she's also like a musician, right? She's like, I got to do this and do that. I'm like, I hope this opens your eyes to reality. These girls are well known, like Hot 97. Even some of the dudes, I'm like, we see them every day. They're well known. They're waiting in line, just like the rest of us. They're waiting in line. And they go to security, I'm so-and-so, I don't give a fuck, get the fuck down with this. Like, that's how it was. You get what I'm saying? But it's like, I was like, I hope all they're showing online is the ups. They don't show the downs. They're not showing you like that.
They're showing you the highlights.
Yeah, they don't show you the real stuff. You know what I mean? They're not showing you that they got to stay in the line.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But I'm like, if I were you, I told her, if I were you, I would speak to the regular, ordinary person and tell them your experience. You stood in line.
Yeah.
Along with everybody else that got all this clout online, y'all was all standing in line. It didn't matter.
Yep.
It didn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, that's wild. That's
So-
like Beyonce making it known she didn't get paid for the debate. I mean, for the political stuff for Kamala Harris.
Oh
Yeah.
For the DNC. Like, you gotta make it known. Like, I ain't no small artist out here. How you not gonna pay me? I'd be mad too.
Yeah, she's a lot different. She's a lot different. Like, she don't get paid. That's a little something different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If Beyonce was standing in line, I'd be like, oh, okay, they bugging. They wild.
But that's what I'm saying. You should treat all your guests like they are that important.
Nah. I don't know about that.
Well, I think there has to be a
To
level
a certain
of like,
extent, there has to be some type of
Balance.
and to me
value
they were very
in the people that that are here that shows
Gotta
up.
be a
You have to
value.
value them somehow.
It was embarrassing to me. It was embarrassing. It was a Jersey club, well-known Jersey club, and I'm like, it was so like unorganized, unprofessional. Half of the females that was in line, half of the people, they all from New York.
Wow.
And you had people come from Philly. Everybody in line. And I'm like, this is why we don't rock with Jersey. Because I was like, yo, what Jersey club, what club in New York have I ever been to where I stood in line? Like,
We
I have
waiting
not.
outside.
I went in.
Yeah, for
I went in. I went straight in.
Crazy.
And if I went with an artist that was like, yo,
Yeah.
solo, come out, I wasn't waiting in no line.
Yeah. Especially if you performing, you're supposed to be working the event.
But it
That's outrageous.
But it never happened. If they say, yo, solo, pull up, and I go and I be like, yo, they told me, come straight in. It was never like a question.
Yeah. Okay.
Never a question. But like, I'm like, damn, Jersey looking bad right now.
Yeah,
It was real embarrassing, yo. All of them was like from New York. Most of the line was from New York. And I was like, damn, yo, I know they're gonna be talking shit. I knew it. I was like, they're gonna be talking shit.
Damn.
I ain't never coming to Jersey.
It was embarrassing, but
party
that's
again.
what they're gonna say. That's why we do not come out here. Because I feel like you gotta have a certain level of professionalism, and then like, damn, it's a hard word to say. And then also like, you let like two people in the door, on the side door. I feel like if you're an artist, if you know these artists on a list,
Right.
it should be a separate entrance.
Yeah.
Off rip. If you got somebody hosting, it should be a separate entrance. The people that's waiting in line, you continue waiting. Everybody that's performing,
Yeah, they shouldn't be waiting at the line with the niggas that paying
I'm
at
like,
the door.
if I'm performing, niggas should not be mad if I leave if I can't even get in.
Right.
it's sad, yo. And then you got everybody else. You got Scarlett inside, Honey Baby. You can hear them performing. The rest of the performers, you
And it's
gotta wait
like,
in line like an average nigga.
how do
Yeah.
I get into? Like, and I don't understand why I'm waiting in line. Like, y'all bugging. If I'm performing, I'm supposed to be here.
Yep.
I'm not waiting in line. I'm walking right up to the front. Excuse me, I performed tonight. My name is so and so.
My name is on the flyer.
Yeah.
They did not hear. Like,
Their name was on the flyer.
that's crazy.
They did not care.
Your name was on the flyer, and they wasn't letting you in.
My name was on the girl I came with. She was on the flyer.
And you was too.
No. I was just
You was just
With
I was
her.
just
Okay,
supporting her.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
supporting her.
But I didn't care. If I was like, all right, whatever. I was like, I'll wait outside. I don't care. I'll wait in the whip. I'll pull up.
Bro,
whatever.
nah, I'd have
But-
been like, she on the flyer. Like, we
yeah,
been
see, that's
waiting
the thing.
outside.
That's the
like,
thing. But hey, man, I was like, yo, it's an eye opener. It's an eye opener.
That's crazy.
And it was unprofessional. So I'm like, that's the last time I'm going to that spot. I know that for a fact. Last time I go there.
You have to let us know what that spot
Drop
was.
the name once we
You have
start
to let us
recording.
know, yeah, when the camera's off, what
Man,
that
that's
spot
one of
was.
the reasons I do not want to be an artist, man. They gotta do too much. I just want to collect my money and go.
But that's what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Perform, like,
you
honestly.
gotta perform.
But they
You
having
gotta-
fun, though. They having fun. Like you performing.
People
It's fun. They
vibing
having
your
fun.
music.
They rocking.
like,
They vibing. It's a whole like experience. You get what I'm saying? But when you can't even perform and you can't even get inside
Damn.
where you're supposed to perform at, I mean, that's crazy.
yeah, that's wild.
That's wild.
definitely
You on a flyer.
unprofessional. And you on a flyer, like that's what was grappling me.
You putting
You're
the flyer
on the,
up to your face
You're
like,
on the
see?
flyer.
It don't even matter, man. Like they know. They knew. But yeah.
That's crazy.
Shout out to Jersey, man. Shout out to Jersey.
Shout out to. Damn.
Oh man. Yeah, moving on, yo.
Lord.
Moving on.
What about dating these cases? They getting dropped, right? A lot of them got dropped.
A lot
Like
of them-
half
few
of
of
his
them got
charges
dropped.
got dropped, but the sexual assault charges and stuff like that is
Are
still
still
on
there.
there.
So which ones got dropped? 'Cause I'm not gonna lie, I did
I
not look
didn't care
into
that
it.
much.
All I heard was some stuff got dropped. So which ones got dropped? Was it like some major ones or just
I think a lot of them were just like the ones that like, oh yeah, he sexually assaulted me in 1957, like he sexually assaulted me in like 2001, like all the older ones.
The older ones.
Like the statute of limitations.
because you got a lot of people that's like, yo,
okay, got
Diddy
you.
about to get out. You got a lot
I
of people
did
making that
hear
noise.
that, yeah.
A lot of people making that noise, man. So I'm like, what's really going on? What is really going on, yo?
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, I didn't hear much
Yeah,
about.
some of the civil suits are being dropped because
Yeah, I like
of
it,
the statute of limitations.
Oh, because of the statute of limitations?
Yeah.
That's what it is?
But
It's like, oh yeah, he sexually assaulted me 20 years ago. Like, fam,
You
you
should
was
have
just
said
waiting.
something
You was
20
just
years
waiting.
ago.
Currently, the accusations come from 3 ex-girlfriends of P. Diddy. Some from the jurors are needing to be convinced that the consensual relationship needed coercion. The defense is sounding like the ladies just want to take down a successful black man.
Wow.
Man, I don't know.
Jumped on the bandwagon.
I don't know. I mean, that happens a lot, though. That does happen a lot. But I'm not invested enough into this case to say, like,
Yeah,
I really can't say too much, man.
I don't know.
I was watching the Brilliant Idiots podcast, and my boy Andrew Schultz was just like, "Yo, this just proves that a lot of these lawyers, they don't really give a fuck about justice. They just give a fuck about the money because they don't care if Diddy did this or not, or like
They're
any
not
of the
supposed
people,
to. They're just
right?
supposed to just defend the stance that they on, whether they prosecution or
Yeah,
defendant.
like, but a
or
lot of people
defense.
they just here to like, okay, we're gonna accuse you of some shit.
Yeah.
Settle. And if you don't settle, we're gonna put the shit out to the news and make it public. And if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to go through that, then settle for this amount of money. They don't really give a fuck about the victim of the jury. The stance is more about the money.
I mean, yeah, if I'm the lawyer in this case,
Yeah.
yeah, like lawyers are supposed to be unbiased. If I hire you for a task, now you have lawyers that are passionate about what they do that will refuse jobs and things like that. But in my opinion, most of them don't like. They're supposed to be unbiased. They're supposed to just defend you. However, like if they're prosecuting you, if they're the prosecution, they're supposed to prove that you did it. If you're defense, they're supposed to defend you whether they believe you did it or not.
Well, no, but like they're not even. So a lot of these lawyers, though, they're not even trying to defend their client. That their priority isn't even to defend their client. Their priority is the money, right?
Yeah. So if I can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the evidence that you got is not enough to convict him, then yeah, and I'm gonna get my bread while I'm doing this.
This Tony Busby, the one that like tried to attach Jay-Z's name in the lawsuit, they don't even care about proof. They're just like, oh, this woman is accusing Jay-Z of something. Jay-Z's a cash cow, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this on him to see if he'll settle.
Oh yeah.
And if not, I'm gonna blast his name in the media.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Jay-Z ain't playing that game.
That's wild.
Jay-Z wasn't playing that.
He ain't playing that game.
That's why a lot of those Diddy cases got dropped in the first place.
Yeah. It makes sense.
It's wrong today. I don't know what's wrong.
What?
With no napkins.
Right.
Nah, I mean,
Okay,
yo,
rag man.
the spill is crazy.
I don't know what's happening today. I have no idea.
Okay, rag man.
I'm not even that,
I'm gonna get you some tissue in a minute.
I have no. I think it's the type of cup that it is. Like I just keep going back, and it just randomly just spills, and I just don't
I'm gonna get some
understand.
tissue.
Such a good host.
By you
Look at
doing
that.
that, I'm
I almost killed those. I'm sorry.